let me tell y'all just a little story. I said I grew up about 15 minutes that way, and that's true, I did. But I don't have a lot of family around here because most of my family lives in a place that you just, quite frankly, can't get to from here. Anybody know where Harlan County, Kentucky is? There's a song that says something about the sun comes up at 10 in the morning and goes down in 3 of the day. That's the absolute truth, I can tell you that. It is in the mountains of eastern Kentucky, and there's some interesting folk there. And most of them's my family, so I can talk about it. But no, honestly, many times as a child, we would go down there to visit family, and we would go to this little block church, sat at the very top of a hill, and even though it was at the top of the hill, there was still mountains much higher than it was. But it sat up there, and they've since built a new sanctuary, but that old block building is still there. And Sunday night service, they usually started about 7 o'clock. And there'd be people there at 7, but the majority of the crowd wouldn't even come rolling in until about 7:30 or 8, because they knew service would probably last till about 11:30, sometimes midnight. And as Wendy Bagwell said, that's the truth with my hand out. But it's the absolute truth. They would stay there because I've been in services there where the Spirit of God would just seem so real. And I would see things happen there that a human couldn't explain. And I remember we would be at the bottom of the hill, getting ready to go in, and we were late, so service already started. And you could hear the singing from way down at the bottom of that hill. And they had a piano, and they had tambourines, and washboards, and guitars, and cymbals, and they sang their little hearts out. And my cousin's the pastor of that church. Most people would say his name was Jerry, but in Harlan County he was Jury. And that's about the way it is here too, so. But his name was Jury. And his son was what we would call the song leader and piano player, his son Jason. And sometimes there would be a service that felt like things were just hard. People were discouraged. They'd had long days, and of course, many of those folks had worked long hours in the coal mines, and they were discouraged. They didn't have a lot. It's a very poor area there. And Jerry would just go over to Jason and say, "Son, you need to sing something." And he'd sit down at that piano and just roll out a chord, a little something like this. Well, we did not come together just to talk about the weather, but to show off all these fancy clothes that we can wear. Just from the ceiling to the floor, from the stage, clean on out the door. I can feel oh man, I can feel it in the air. Well, there's multitudes of people who keep on reaching. That's why we can't neglect to keep on preaching. Granny's old-fashioned cure for sin. She is the gut knows the kneeling when the soul needed healing and that old-time feeling within. Well, now I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old-time feeling again. Oh, the glory of it, don't you just love it when the hallelujah meeting begins. Oh, we are getting here early, going home late, riding on a heavenly wind. I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old-time feeling again. Well, the church got cold when the saints are going along around the parade. They all started their shout when the fire went out and they blew the old altar away. But new hearts are turning, old flames are burning, harder than they ever been. I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old-time feeling again.
said that I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old time feeling again. Oh, the glory of it, don't you just love it when the holiday begins? We are in the early, going home late, riding on a heavenly wind. I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old time feeling again. Oh, yes we are. I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old time feeling again. I'm feeling oh, the glory of it, don't you just love it when the holiday begins? We are in the early, going home late, riding on a heavenly wind. I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old time feeling again. Oh, yes, I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old time feeling again. Well, we didn't come together just to talk about the weather or to show off all the clothes we wear. From the ceiling to the floor, from the saints to the door, there's revival everywhere. Poor people give a reason, so we gotta keep preaching Granny's old passion pure of sin. And she is a good dosing in when the soul need a healing and that old time feeling within. Well, now I got a feeling we're gonna be feeling that old time feeling again. Oh, the glory of it, don't you just love it when the holiday begins?